Nava Grove, likely to be the first harmonized project in RCR launching soon. Preview will start on 2nd November. Will this be another hot selling project like Lentor Mansion? The first harmonized project in OCR, which saw an impressive 75% sold on first weekend of launch. Why did Lentor Mansion sell so well as compared to its neighbors? It's not say the nearest plot to the Lentor MRT like Hillock Green, but yet it had an impressive sold result on launch day. All the 2 bedrooms were stepped out on the launch weekend, which contributed to one of the main factors for the high takeout rates. Nowadays, quantum play is very important. Due to the GFA harmonization, the unit sizes here are generally smaller, hence, the overall quantum are lowered too. Due to the reduction of the TDSR ratio, which limits the borrowing power of the buyer, quantum now plays a very important role in buyer purchasing considerations. So, will this history be repeated here? I will deep dive into this at the later part of my video. Remember to check out my timestamps too, so that you can straight away click onto the part of the video that you want to watch. And I would appreciate an early thumbs up, and please subscribe to get the latest videos. Before I share my analysis on the project, let me go through quickly the project info. I will not be touching too in-depth on the project info, as I believe all these you can find them from various sources. Instead, I'll be touching on what are the important things that you should know about this project. I will also be analyzing whether does it make sense to buy a project that is not near MRT, because I always heard people telling me to buy property, you must buy something that is near MRT in order to make money. Is it really true? And after which, I will also be sharing my analysis on the pricing, what is the expected launch price, and what is the safe entry price to go in. And of course, I will be covering on the main topic, which is, will Nava Grove be another hot selling project like Lentor Mansion? And what are the unit types that I think will likely be the hotly contested units? As usual, I will give my personal rating on the project based on some of the key criteria. And finally, I will also be sharing my prediction of the launch results. So here are the disclaimer. Whatever I share here is for educational purpose, not a buy or sell advice. So please do your own due diligence. So this project is located at Mount Sinai, nestled in a private enclave surrounded by greenery and next to Ulu Pandan. So is it really Ulu? On first look, this location does look a bit Ulu to me, as there is no MRT station nearby. The nearest is Dover MRT, which some say is about 15 minutes walk. But in my opinion, anything that is more than 10 minutes walk is not really considered walkable. But the consolation is the developer will be providing shuttle bus service for 18 months upon TOP to Buona Vista and Holland Village MRT station. In my opinion, most of the people who are buying here are buying for own stay, and most of them will be driving. So distance to MRT may not really be that crucial. But if you look closer, this location is actually not that bad. Why? Because it's located just outside the fringe of CCR D10 Holland. It's nestled in the private enclave, which give you the kind of exclusivity and privacy away from the bustling city center. It's also surrounded by the greeneries like the rear corridor and clementi forest. Inside this development, you also find conserved old trees, so the whole feel is like you are staying next to nature. It's also okay to stay on second floor, as the second story is elevated at about 12.6 meters from the landscape level. This looks very similar to Normanton Park. So personally, I feel it is also okay to buy the lower floor unit, and it's not exactly low floor. The whole project is also built on elevated ground. As you can see from the picture here, the second floor feels like it's on level 8 or level 9 from the Ulu Pandan Road. This development also has 4 bedrooms dual key, which is something quite rare in the market, and the project beside do not have. I feel MCL is really quite generous in their finishing for this development. They give luxury quality finishing. The kitchen tabletop induction surface and sink surface are all made of very strong mineral stone core, MDI mineral design innovation, and is scratch resistant and antibacterial. And I heard that you can even save money on buying a chopping board in the future, as you can just do your chopping of food directly on the kitchen top. And the developer will also be providing the Stygian Solar Mini Laundry System, which is one of my favorite. And this is not cheap in the market. So next, I'll be covering on whether is location very important in determining whether this project will make money in the future. So I'm going to use this case study of the Trevor, which is one of the unit that I sold before. You can see that the location is not really near to the MRT station, but the performance of this project is not bad. It has already made about 28% from launch. How about riverfront residences? This is also not really far, not really near to the MRT station. The nearest is Hougang, which it will take you also more than 10 minutes walk. And guess what? It's also very profitable at 29%. And next is my favorite, High Park Residences. You cannot see any MRT station nearby, only LRT station. But hey, it has made 56% from launch. So actually, it's not really important for MRT station. So what are the other important criteria? In my opinion, is actually the entry price and the floor plan layout is very, very important. So I will also analyze that further. So this is the developer price that is given to us, the starting from price. So you can see from here, the starting price is very attractive from 2002 to 2003. So is it going to be launched at this kind of pricing? I would say that probably the average PSF will not be this price. Okay, otherwise I think the developer will not really be making money. Okay, later I'll show you the breakdown of the break-even price, and you understand more. Okay, so this is also the price metrics that we have done out. If you're interested to get this copy or the e-brochure, you just let me know. I can send you a high quality image so that you can also look at the pricing yourself. So do contact me at my number here. Okay, so recently there's this project Nava Grove, which is at Woodlands, which has already transacted at 2067 per square feet. So right now, this is already the norm. Even at Woodlands, it has already hit above 2000. And let's look at the RCR New Launches. All these are RCR area like Reserve Residences, ABT, Grand Diamond, Pinetree Hill, the one beside Nava Grove, and Tembusu Grand. You can see that all the average PSF is already close to 2005 or above 2005. Okay, ABT has already hit 3000 per square feet. Okay, but the average here is about 2749. So right now it's quite a norm if you are buying into RCR region. 2004, 2005, 2006 is quite a norm really. So let's analyze the break-even price. Okay, you can see from here the break-even is 2120, which seems a bit low. Okay, but actually because we have to add in the harmonization about 8%, and right now we will get this revised break-even price at 2290. So if you based on this, right, the break-even at 10% will be 2519, at 15% will be 2634, 20% will be 2748, and 25% will be 2863. So based on my traffic light system, right, green means it's very safe to go in. Amber is you have to take a closer look and analyze deeper, depends on the facing. Okay, anything that's red, I think is a little bit high risk for me. Or probably there is other good buys that you can also consider. So let's revisit this Lentor Mansion. Why did it sell so well, 75% on launch weekend? Okay, so this is one of the project nearby Lentor Mansion. This one is pre-harmonization. So it does not have those like I mean, all the aircon ledge are included inside the floor area. It's not like Lentor Mansion. So you can see from here, these are the 2 bed, 1 bath, and the cheapest unit is transacted between 1.267, okay, all the way to about 1.3. These are the cheapest units. And this is for Lentor Mansion, okay, also 2 bed, 1 bath. But you notice the floor area is slightly smaller, and the price is cheaper by about 100 over 1,000. So that is the reason why it's selling so well, because in terms of quantum, it's cheaper. And nowadays, buyers are going for quantum prey rather than PSF, because you get a smaller unit, but actually they take away things like aircon ledges, all this, which is not really a livable space. So in summary, right, you're actually buying what you get. Okay, so I put the floor plan side by side, Hillock Green and Lentor Mansion. So you can see from here that for Lentor Mansion, right, it doesn't cover the aircon ledges. Okay, so that is one of the main reasons why the floor area is smaller. So now I will go into the floor plan analysis for Nava Grove to see whether this is similar to Lentor Mansion and whether this will be a sell-out project. Okay, so first of all, we look at 2 bed, 1 bath compared with Pinetree Hill on the left. Okay, so you can see that this what's the difference in the floor plan is that Nava Grove does not have these aircon ledges. Okay, it's not included inside. But the floor, this is the foyer area. It's slightly bigger also. Okay, but let's look at the pricing. Starting price is already announced by the developer, 1.388 million. And let's compare with the cheapest unit that was transacted at Pinetree Hill. We can see that the difference is almost like 185K, okay? Almost close to 200,000. So I believe, right, this will be something very interesting. Okay, and what is available now in the market for Pinetree Hill, the cheapest is 1.758, which is still a very big gap. So even if you are comparing the higher floor unit, I have done another example to show you. Okay, so this one, assuming is a higher floor unit, even at 2,005 per square feet, right? If you multiply by 624 square feet, it will give you 1.56, which is still cheaper than what is available currently, okay, which is here. You can see it's 1.758, still much cheaper, all right? And if you compare with the 1 bedroom at Pinetree Hill, it's almost the cheapest unit. For the 2 bed, 1 bath at Nava Grove is almost the price of, or even lower than the price of the 1 bedroom. So it's something that is really a value buy. Imagine when in TOP that time, you're competing with these 1 bedroom buyers. So definitely, in terms of value, people want to go for 2 bed, 1 bath rather than a 1 bedroom. Okay, so right now let's go. So before I go into the 2 bed, 2 bath, right, I would say that 2 bed, 1 bath would be something that is hotly contested. Okay, so if you are only looking at 2 bed, 1 bath, you may also want to look at 2 bed, 2 bath here. Okay, because if your ballot number is not good, you may not be able to get a unit there. Anyway, in my opinion, 2 bed, 2 bath is also not too bad, because you can attract home buyers who are buying for own stay. Because I'm thinking for myself, right, if me and my wife, we want to buy a condo 2 bedroom, I would also prefer to have 2 bathroom, so that during rush hour, we don't need to compete for the toilets. All right, so this is something that I will prefer to go for if buying for own stay also. All right, so this type I think will be also quite hotly contested. Okay, because you can see that also same thing, the floor area is slightly smaller. This is Nava Grove at 700 square feet, about 64 square feet smaller. Okay, so but the main difference is actually the aircon ledges. Okay, if you look at the sizes, right? Okay, if you look at the sizes here, actually quite comparable. Okay, the master bedroom, the bedroom too, in fact, is slightly bigger. Okay, bathroom about the same. Living, dining also quite close. Okay, so you do not really say suffer a lot of reduction in the usable space. You can see only the balcony is slightly smaller. Okay, but most people would not mind to have a slightly smaller balcony if the price is much more cheaper. Okay, because balcony is not really like a livable space also. Although nowadays you can put zip track. Okay, so I would say that let's look at the pricing first. Okay, so this is the starting price. The cheapest is going at 1.568 mil. You must be very lucky to get this unit. Your ballot number must be very good. So if you're someone who go to temple, you can go and pray. Okay, or go to church and pray. All right, pray that you get a good ballot number. So anyway, this is the cheapest unit at Pinetree Hill. Okay, it's 1.701 million. Okay, so it's still about 133,000 cheaper. So I think this is something that very attractive. And right now in the market that's available for Pinetree Hill is already at close to 2 million. Okay, so I believe there is pent-up demand for this unit type. So this 2-bed, 2-bath, I think will be something very hotly contested, will be very high in demand also, as it appeals to both investor and homestay buyers. Okay. So even if we compare with a higher floor unit, let's say if it's at 2,006 per square feet, okay, multiplied by 700 square feet, you will get about 1.82, which is still cheaper than what is the current available units right now. Okay. That's the current available units. Okay, which is at 1.996. Next, we are going to this 2-bed plus study. Okay, I'm actually quite surprised that the floor area is about the same as you can see from here. Nava Grove is 786 square feet, whereas Pinetree Hill is 797 square feet. Okay, and I'm quite surprised that the starting price, right, is almost, it's not the same, actually it's even more expensive than a cheaper unit for Pinetree Hill. Okay, so for this unit type, actually probably if Pinetree Hill is still available, I will go for this. It's cheaper. Okay, but one thing I like about Nava Grove here is that the this study room is slightly bigger if you compare. Okay, so the study room is over here. So this is something that is, I think, is more of a good size for a study. Okay, so but the pricing wise is quite comparable, and right now the current unit available, okay, this is 2.096 million. Okay, but this is not apple to apple comparison because this is probably a lower floor unit. All right, so if I compare with the transacted, right, actually we are even more expensive than Pinetree Hill. Okay, so I think that this unit type will be probably less popular than the 2-bed, 2-bath and 2-bed, 1-bath. Okay, but right now there are no cheaper unit below 2 million. Okay, so there will be still some buyers who will go for this cheaper pricing if they are price sensitive. Okay, but overall I think there will still be a healthy take up for 2-bed plus study. Okay, and also for some buyers, right, if they can't get a 2-bed, 2-bath or 2-bed, 1-bath, they may want to stretch their budget to go for this 2 plus study. Okay, so do not eliminate this layout also. Next, we will look at the 3-bedroom. Okay, so for 3-bedroom, right, if you notice, the size is actually quite similar. Okay, slightly smaller only, but without the aircon ledges, okay, I would say that probably this Nava Grove will be more efficient in terms of layout. Okay, and the starting price is 2.188 million. Okay, so it's relatively quite close to the cheapest unit that was transacted in Pinetree Hill. Very close pricing. Okay, in fact, it's slightly more expensive by 11,000. Okay, so but I feel that this layout will also be very popular because right now there's no stock available at Pinetree Hill. So I would think that this will be a layout that will be also in quite high in demand. Okay, next we will go into the 4-bedroom comparison. Okay, this is the smaller 4-bedroom. And you can see from here, right? Wow, the starting price is 2.98 million, which is about 200,000 cheaper than the cheapest transacted 4-bedroom at Pinetree Hill. But do take note that for this layout, right, the main difference is this Pinetree Hill has a private lift, whereas Nava Grove do not have a private lift. So if you're someone who likes to go for private lift, you may not want to go for Nava Grove. Okay, but one thing I noticed about Nava Grove is that the balcony space Okay, if you notice from here, compared to Pinetree Hill, is slightly smaller. But I find the Nava Grove layout for this type is also not too bad. Although it doesn't have a private lift and the balcony space is smaller, but it does have an extra ensuite bathroom. And the living, dining, and master bedroom are also bigger. However, usually the 4 and 5 bedrooms, in my opinion, will take some time to move due to the higher quantum. And this group of buyers are mainly buying for own stay. So some of them may not want to wait so long for it to be built and constructed. And some of them do not want to rent also. So they may wait closer to the TOP in order to buy. And also right now, there's still quite a number of units left unsold at Pinetree Hill for similar unit types. So if you are targeting for this unit, I would think that you should have a high chance of getting a unit. Okay, next we'll go into this 4-bedroom, the bigger 4-bedroom. So this is 1550 for Nava Grove, and for Pinetree Hill is 1464 square feet. Okay, both this layout has private lift, but the pricing for this Nava Grove layout, right, is higher than Pinetree Hill. Okay, if you can see from here, okay, this is starting price 3.588 mil. This is the transacted lowest, cheapest unit. Okay, so actually we are still slightly more expensive. And I will say that probably is due to the higher square feet, okay, because this is slightly bigger, okay, which is why it's slightly more expensive. And similar to the 2+ study type, there are currently no cheaper available stock for this type at Pinetree, okay, because right now the cheapest is 3.824 million. So I would say that there may still be demand for buyers who are more price sensitive. And looking at the neighbors Pinetree Hill takeout rate, right, I observed the phenomenon of a higher takeout rate for this unit type. Okay, so I would say that probably the buyer who has the budget to go for a 4-bedroom, right, in this area, they would rather go for a bigger floor plate area. Okay, a bigger floor plate unit, sorry. So if the same pattern were to follow, right, we might see a higher takeout rate for this particular layout versus the other smaller 4-bedroom. Okay, next we look at the 5-bedroom comparison. You'll notice that both these layout also have a private lift. Okay, and the 5-bedroom at Nava Grove looks like a good deal here. Comparing side by side, the cheapest unit, right? This is the cheapest unit, 3.988 million. Okay, it's like about 330,000 cheaper. Okay, versus this is the current available cheapest unit, 4.318. Okay, almost like 300 over thousand cheaper. And it's almost the same price as this Pinetree Hill 4-bedroom premium. Okay, also expecting slow pickup for this type of unit due to the high quantum, as this is cater to a niche group of buyers. So also there are still many units available nearby to choose from, so buyers are spot for choices. So now I will talk about the my personal rating of this project. Okay, so let's look at the location. I give it a 7 out of 10, mainly because there's no MRT station nearby, so it's not the perfect location, but it's still not too bad because it's near to D10 Holland, One North Business Park, and it's also within 1 kilometer to good school like Henry Park Primary School. So I'll give it still a relatively high score at 7. And for developer, I will give it a 8.5 out of 10. Reason because this developer, NCL Land, is a reputable developer in Singapore. He has strong proven track records. His past project includes Margaret View, Park & Star, and even luxury project like Leiden Green. How about for the supply? Okay, so first of all, we have to look at this URA master plan. Okay, you will notice that this is Clementi Forest. Okay, it's actually zone residential. So that could also be possibility of more residential units coming out in the future, but I don't foresee it coming out in the near future. Okay, so right now there's only this Pinetree Hill and also Nava Grove. So there's not many new launches around this area, so it's still relatively quite low in supply. Okay, but only thing is that there are quite a number of freehold projects nearby, so I did not really give you a very high score in terms of supply. So you can see that supply, I also give it like 7 out of 10, as compared to probably projects like Chuan Park, which I feel the supply is lower over there. Okay, so for transformation, right, I give it an 8 out of 10. Okay, so there are some notable transformation nearby. For example, the Holland Plain development, okay, located nearby. This area will be transformed into a new residential precinct focused on sustainability and nature. So, and also there's this Dover Knowledge District. This is an extension of One North, and this new innovation district will attract companies, talent into research, education, and tech industries. And last but not least is the Bukit Timah Rail Corridor. So enhancement in this area will definitely make it a better lifestyle and more greenery space. Okay, so I believe that this transformation, right, will elevate the appeal and connectivity of projects, okay, for this development, Nava Grove. So I give it a relatively high score at 8 out of 10. And also all this One North transformation, I believe will also help to bring in more jobs and boost the demand for residential units over here. Last but not least, for the pricing, I give it, I'm expecting the pricing to be around 2004 to 2005 per square feet. So I think this is still a reasonable safe entry price for this development. So I give it 8 out of 10. So overall is 7.7, which I think is still quite a good score. Okay, so right now I will go into the unit distribution. So I'm expecting that this unit type will be hotly contested. Okay, the 2-bed 1-bath, 2-bed 2-bath, and the 3-bedroom. Okay, so all these unit, if you add out, right, it will give you about 66.7%, okay, of the total number of units. Total number of units here, there are these are 552 units. Okay, so what is my prediction? I'm expecting the sales result to be at 60 to 70% take-out rate on the first weekend of the launch. Okay, due to the likelihood of high take-out rate for the 2-bed 1-bath, 2-bed 2-bath, and 3-bedroom, which forms bulk of the total number of units here. I've come to the end of the Nava Grove review. If you like what I've shared so far, please help me to like, subscribe, and comment, as this will encourage me to do more of similar videos in the future, as doing all these videos take me a lot of time and energy. Thank you very much. And if you'd like to find out on whether Nava Grove is my top project among my list now, or if you need any help or assistance on selecting a unit in Nava Grove, do PM me and I'll share with you my view and analysis. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.